Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I don't believe we have any pre-submitted questions for today. Let me just double check that. As always, you can use raise hand, type a question out in the chat or QA section, and I will get to you if you have some ad hoc questions for us. And go ahead, Radley, what you got for us today?
Hey, Will, got a couple questions for you today.
Yeah, please.
First one, I have a form with a data grid. One of the columns in that data grid is a Boolean.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to have a control that says set all to true, set all to false, something like that?
You'd have to use a data flow for that kind of behavior.
Okay.
Like have an event button that runs, and
I
then
see.
right, and so the event button triggers the active form flow to run to get that list, and then um, iterate through the collection, set everything to true, and then use set value so that you
Right.
you you refresh the data grid. There
Okay.
is no there's no non-active form flow based way to configure that to happen.
Got
You
it.
can definitely possible with event buttons as your trigger, and then active form flows doing the updating.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Um, Second question, I have an assignment and I want to, and the assignment comes out monthly on the same day.
Hmm.
5 days later, I want to have an email sent back to the assignee if the assignment's not done.
Okay,
And then 10 days later, and then weekly after that, I want to have an email go to the assignee and that person's manager that the assignment's not done.
got it. So you can't do the second part with escalation flows. You know how to use escalation flows for like warn, late, escalate, those things, right?
I'm aware they're out there. I have not had a reason to use them yet.
Okay. Yeah, so let me just create a folder for us here. What is it? 918. And then we'll put a form here. And we'll create a form. Right. And then we'll take that form and we will make it assigned. Great. And then we'll just get rid of this stuff. So this is administrators, and we'll put garbage text here. And we'll put garbage text here. All right, so then we have assignment setup here. So in assignment setup, if we scroll down a bit, we should see these assignment dates here. And as I select one, I get a new input or a new property that I can configure. Now, we want to ignore start because that's the ability for us to pre-stage an assignment that shows up in someone's inbox when the date is hit.
Okay.
And we want to leave expiration alone. Expiration actually gives us an outcome path. So these three, warn, late, escalate. What they do is they set the state of the assignment to one of these values, warn, late, or escalate. You can't set custom states on assignments. And then you form assignment. So let's just use warn. So form assignment, warn date. You would do something like compute date in future, start would be the current time, and then you do an offset of like 5 days. Now this would be
Okay.
5 calendar days. So if you need business days, you're going to have to get more clever and do the work ahead of time because
Got
you
it.
can pass in an offset here. Okay, so you have that in place. What you then get is these assignment events. So assignment warn type flow, you would change this to shared or private. Shared means is reusable across multiple assignments, multiple escalations, and private is specific to this particular form and this specific flow.
Got it.
Private is easy, so we'll just go ahead and do that. And then what we could do is do something like drag a send email step in here, and then we could have that fire off, and that would fire off to whoever you'd want. And if you look at Data Explorer, you have the assignment inside this thing. So you have all the assignment details. You can, of course, use the assignment to like fetch your case data and things like that if you wanted more information. Though because this is a private flow, it gets all of that parent flow data as inputs automatically, which is
Okay.
one of the nice things. Your trade-off for not being reusable is that you get free access to all the data in the parent flow. So that being said, this is how you would use warn. So this would be your 5-day trigger, right? After 5 days, this email would be sent. You have to change the pattern for your second example, which is a recurring email. That you need to treat like a scheduled job. So you would, let's say we use this example, you would find all assignments that are in warn state, like use a fetch entities step,
Yeah.
right? And then you could find assignments. Imagine I'm in a separate flow here, right? And then I'm going to find state. And then here I'm going to say, give me all of my assignments, who are in a warn state. And then check how long, check since, the warn date was hit, has it been over X days? Go ahead and run the flow, and then send the follow-on email. Something like that.
And then how would I go about, thinking out loud here, how would I go like loop through it again? Right. So I send the first email to the manager on day 10. How do I do it again on day 15?
You probably no, you could force a save on the assignment and use the modified date. You're assuming it's not being touched, so you're assuming it's not being modified, though you can't control, other things could modify it. You could put a property on your case called last touch time or last email time or something.
Okay.
And you could fetch that and see if it's been greater than 10 days. And if yes, send email and then, toggle set that property to current date time.
Okay.
Because you can't add custom properties to the assignment, and you wouldn't want to really you probably don't want to go the route of an assignment extension just to get this. So modified date is probably the easiest, though you sort of lose some control over that.
Right.
But if this is just informational, that might not be a huge blocker.
Okay. Very good. Awesome. Great ideas. Thanks. Well, I appreciate it.
Is anything else?
Nope. That's it for today. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you bet. Happy to help. All right. And then we've got a question from Nancy here. Let me put this in the chat so everybody can see it. All right. Is it possible to have a dynamic name populate a sub dialog button on a form using information from an active form flow? Okay, fair question. Let's find a sub dialog. Two words. There we go. Sub dialog button. So here's a sub dialog button. All right. So text from data name. I'll call this sub dia button name. Now, does that show up as something as an input in the active form flow? So active form flow, add garbage text, edit, and let me look at Data Explorer. So form data, sub dialog flow button. Oh, okay, good. We should be able to do this. So I'm going to go to Toolbox and good grief, form rules, set control value, and form control. I'm going to select form data sub dia flow button, and I'm going to change this to hello world. Okay, and I'm going to save. And then I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to put an event button here just to give myself a trigger. So here's an event button. So back to my active form flow, edit, event button. I will say on click, run this flow. I think. Let me just turn this to an in session form. And this will be, I'll set the default title to default title. And let me run this and see. So if I run this, my button should say default title. And if I raise event, it switches to hello world. So yes, you definitely can get that to work.
Awesome.
Yeah, so all you need to do is update the sub dialog button. Just click this property to text from data name.
Yeah.
And then that makes it available in the active form flow for you to run a set control value step on. And then you just have to figure out your triggering event.
Right, that I have. Okay, awesome.
All right, anything else related to that?
Not today.
Okay, great. All right, and that's all of our questions in the queue for right now. So if you guys have a question, please do let me know. Oh, Murray, and go ahead, Murray, what you got? What you got?
So, am I still muted?
No, I can hear you fine.
Okay, so my question, you may not be able to answer this. It might be better for Eric's biweekly call. So I was told that when version 9 is ready, whenever that is,
Mm-hmm.
that there will be some kind of a wizard that walks you through ensuring that you have things assigned to the correct project.
That's
And my
my
question
understanding as
is
well.
how
Yeah.
that will work. How that will work if we're house at decisions. Because now I just email somebody and then they magically tell me that the upgrade is done.
Mm-hmm.
So just you have any idea what the plan is for how that portion of it will work? Will I have to actually be online with the support team to walk through those questions, or something that I haven't thought of?
It's actually probably not going
Or
to
is that a
be.
better question for you?
No. I mean, knowing, so what would happen here is we would upgrade the server, right?
Mhm.
Say so you would submit a ticket and boom, now you're on version 9. You log in.
Okay.
Now you're going to walk through whatever this wizard is to convert the
Okay.
project yourself. Now, if there's issues hit, of course, support will be there to help you, but it would all be done in Portal, right, in the studio through the browser.
Okay, that was the sum total of my question. It just, I didn't know if it was going to be like part 2 of the install of the upgrade or something else.
Yeah, no, it'll all be
But it
done
does
in
sound
app,
like,
all done in app.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, you bet. All right, and Jeremy, you have a question, sir?
Yeah, I asked this in support. I just haven't heard back from them. Thought I would just bring it up here. Today I went in to make a new page and saw that the side menu container is no longer available as a page component.
Side menu container? Not even sure what that is. Let's see. Here's a page. That was a page control?
Correct. It was a different layout. So
It was a type of layout?
Yeah, it was like a tab container, but it had more features. You could add icons and different things to them. I thought it was like a much more enhanced version of the tab container. But I'm guessing it somehow disappeared on one of my version upgrades. We're on 8.13, and I haven't created a new page probably since 8.12. But
Now
I
you can
haven't
copy
seen
your
any
existing one.
information. Correct.
Let's
But
look
and I
here.
didn't see anywhere. I looked. I couldn't see anywhere that it referenced things were being removed.
Yeah, okay. Side menu form layout removed in 8.13. We've added this feature elimination page on the release notes. You can see what we're talking about removing. So it does look like they did remove the side menu layout. Now they removed it from being able to create new. So if you want to continue to use it, you could copy your existing page.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting because I remember Eric has said in his things that they would be very clearly communicated when things are being removed ahead of time so we could plan accordingly.
Yeah, our approach on that maybe is insufficient, but it was to publish this doc on the release notes
Okay.
so that you could see what our anticipated changes were and keep this current. We haven't thought about putting it in app. I'm not familiar with this control at all. Oh, wow.
I really enjoy this control because it gives a lot more functionality because you can add little icons next to the titles of your tabs.
I see.
And
Yeah, I
it's
think
more, it's, I thought it was a lot better option than just the tab container. So I'm surprised that it was decided to be removed.
yeah, well, this is a control we added for an internal project that we had scuttled. I'm guessing that's why we wanted to get rid of it. Now you should be able to, you could still make use of it again if you could copy your page.
Yeah,
And
it
you
just will
could
get
then-
complicated down the road. If I want to continue to use this in other projects, I'll always have to just copy and not ever be able to add it new
That is true.
in a
right.
brand new project. And that's really disappointing
Yeah, I'm sorry
because
about
I
that.
really like the visuals of that component. But to me, it's much more visually appealing than the plain tab container.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess considering that Products has decided to remove it, there are two options going forward are copy the page. Now you could create kind of like a template page that you build off of for like a go forward plan, like copy it once, kind of strip everything out, just leave that there. And then when you
Yeah.
create a new page, you can create it from a template, or go down the route of like a JavaScript control. I think those are our only two options here.
Okay.
Nancy, I'm not sure what your question is exactly on the side menu container. There's a section that was defaulted to top. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you can do tab controls on the top and the left. But I think Jeremy is right that there's some additional components available in the side menu view that are not available in the default tab container. All right, anybody else have any questions? Okay, I think that's everything. Starting to peter out. So go ahead and call it a day, and I'll be back same time tomorrow. Thanks for the questions, everybody. Have a great day.